My friend, Carrie Seif and Associates is her company. I've known her since, 2008?
Yes.
It's been a long, sweet relationship, and she has come out today to help me out to show you some stretching. She's a longtime stretching partner of mine, and so I gave her a call, and here she is, and we might have a chance to ask her some questions as we go through our stretching. So Carrie has told me that she has knee problems.
Yes.
And people say, well, I can't stretch then. But we
Yeah.
know that's not the truth.
We know that.
So we work around her injuries. So as we go along, we'll keep checking back on her, see with her knees. And the first thing we're going to do is get the breathing started and move into our 6 stretch sequence. This is actually the first time that she's doing it. So just like you, this is her first time. So you can follow along. Okay? So the first step we're going to do is we're going to get our legs a little bit wider than our hips. Just a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider. Okay, and then if you do it with a partner, you can do it by yourself, but if you do it with a partner, you're going to find your sternum bone and find the end of it on your body with your hand.
Where's my sternum?
Okay, so you have a bone. So you put your hand where your bone is, so that's your sternum, through your chest, and then the end, where the bone ends.
Okay, right here.
So you can get your partner, so you take my hand, and you put it right on the end.
Up a bit.
That's it. So this is where we want your breathing centered. So when I ask you to take a deep breath through your nose, that's where I want it. So some people say you shouldn't see the chest moving. You don't worry about that. What you worry about is the pressure here. And then you're going to blow out, and I should feel that area go soft. Then the next place on your partner is you're going to ask them to show them where their belly button is. So you show me where your belly button is. Let's put your hand there. So if this is their belly button, I'm going to take my 2 fingers and I'm going to go 1, 2. Now when I ask you to breathe in, the first place I touched, and on the second place, when you breathe out through your mouth, I should feel the air push my hand here. Okay, so you're going to breathe in and breathe out. You can almost feel like you're pushing on the person's hand. Now, breath that goes in, you only can breathe in so much. That's as big as your diaphragm is. You can actually, like a muscle, make it grow bigger and stronger. But what we have control of today right away is how much air you let out. So like a balloon, the balloon might be a small one, you don't want it to pop. So you fill the air up with the balloon, and then you let it out as slow as you can. So you always have control on your first day of breath work and meditation. You have control on the secondary part, which is what you want to take over on our first day today. So Carrie, I'm going to get you to breathe in and out. And you're going to keep breathing as I talk. So we're going to get a rhythm going, breathing in and breathing out. We're going to move into our first exercise. So our left hand is going to go on our thigh. Our legs are going to stay straight as possible. We're going to lock out our knees. We're going to raise our right hand up into the sky. And you're going to really stretch this shoulder part. And then you're going to turn, palm facing forward, and you're going to stretch from the waist. Now this is her first day, so I'm going to use my hands to show her where the stretch should start. So you're going to start from here, and your head is going to stay in line with your spine as best as possible, and your left hand is going to start going down your thigh. Now breathing wise, we're going to go like this. So I'm going to do it with Carrie at the same time. I'm going to go and sometimes if you have a partner, you'll see I'll bring my hand to the hip so that I don't allow the hip to turn. You don't want your hip to turn. You want it to stay square, and then start to relax your hand. Now because she has a partner, I can give her a deep stretch, and what I'm feeling for is tremor. starts to tremor, like now, we got some tremor going. I'm just gonna hold her here. I'm gonna let her know I'm here. I'm supporting her, and she's gonna breathe through it a little bit more. So it's and now we're slowly gonna come back, real slow, breathing. And just remember where my hand is. If you're by yourself, I want you to remember where my hand was. That's just to keep you square, right? Square to the screen. She kept the same form, slowly coming up. And now you're gonna bring your elbow down, rotate your shoulder, and then bring it down to your side. It's like this. You're gonna get your breathing going. Your breathing's going on the whole time. And you see where my hands are. This is a reminder. So remember, if you're by yourself, you don't got me, right? I want you to feel like I'm there, and you're going to remember, you see, I want those shoulders just to relax, okay? Now, Carrie has a good posture right now with her head and neck. So I usually, if I need to correct someone, you'll notice I'll usually have to push their head back, but her crown is exactly where it's supposed to be, and her spine is really good. She does some yoga, so I think that's helped her out. I'd like to steal the credit, but. Okay, so here we go. Right hand down on the thigh. Left hand goes to the sky. So at the same time, you have this reaching as this goes down, and then you start to go. Remember, bone alignment of the head, spine has to be. And then see, I notice a bit of a curve of the hips, right? So I'll bring the hips back. Now, if you're uncomfortable helping out your partner, or you don't know your partner, you just try to find the bone. You know, I usually try to find the hip bone just to turn, right? You really want to be gentle. Now I've got the turn I want. I start to bend them sideways. Now if you think that they need support, I just take my leg sideways, I put it behind the buttocks, and I hold them so they don't feel like they're gonna fall, and I get a deeper stretch. So I would start to do this as she advanced through the stretches. Now I'm starting to feel those tremors, so I get this hand to relax, and I really get them to breathe now. This is really going to help your floor work when you start to do the other stretches. Now the second you feel discomfort, the second you feel pain, you just take yourself slowly out of the stretch. Slow, slow, slow. Arm comes back down, rotate, and down to the side. Then again, you're going to feel with your feet into the floor that you're at. You just want to feel yourself and get that breathing under control. Hands to the side, roll those shoulders back, chest is proud, and I'm going to push through my hips, just like this. So if you are with a male partner, usually I'll bring my hand right across. If you're with a female partner, it's no problem. You just come to the top of the chest. You want them to know where the stretch comes from, and I just press gently in the lower back. I want them to push through their hips, just a little bit like this. They get their breathing. Again, Carrie's posture is really, really nice. You get a little bit of a push through the hips, and then she's coming back up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our hands, I roll them back, and I try to find my hands, okay? So I'm gonna interlock my thumbs, fingers point, and I bring this away from my hips. Now here's the important part. What's happened now is the head's gone forward, right? I don't want you hurting yourself. So now we have nice posture again.
That's a nice stretch.
Really nice posture. You can do some rollback. You're gonna feel deep stretch in the shoulder and across the top here. This is what we want. We want to open up those sections here. Now, because I'm here, I can help her with the tension. So I can bring her much, much higher. And then she breathes herself through. I don't want anyone tightening. So when you feel that little bit of tightening, you back down a bit, roll those shoulders, and then try to bring it up as high as you can. Now, once you've got a certain amount of tension, you're gonna remember where my hand is. It's on the lower lumbar region. I do not want any bending of your back. You're gonna start to fold forward. That's it. So exactly where my hand is, right, the lower back. People like to round out their back. This prevents the rounding of the back. That's it. So sometimes I'll advance someone and get their hands real deep. This is a great stretch right now. And you're just breathing your way through it. So do a couple variations of this. So I'm going to get Carrie to slowly bring herself back up, real slow. You always take as much time that you did going forward. And right here again, we had a really nice posture when she came back out. So if you are having trouble bringing your hands back here and you can't even get them together, that's okay. I'll bring them back like this. My chest is forward, my head is like this. And then when I get as far as I can go, say I just cannot do it right now, I bring my hands to my thighs, palms are flat, and I go. And if you notice our palms, you want them flat. You want them as flat to your foot as possible, right? And my knees are locked out. They're totally locked out. This is a deep, deep hamstring stretch. So here, if I see a little bit of a bend, this means it's going back into the back. So I'll get them to back off a little bit. I'll lock out the knees, and that's a better stretch. That's for your hamstrings. And the goal is you keep your hands flat. If the person feels like they're going to fall back or forward, I just come like this and I support them. So there's an advantage to having a coach, but you can do all of these yourself. So if you notice, my palms were flat, my knees are locked out, and I go flat to the mat. When you go like this is stretching, doesn't stretch your hamstrings. So that's the trick, is lock out, and you might be stuck here for a little bit. So you breathe, you breathe, you breathe, you breathe, and eventually you'll get to that position. Be very compassionate to your body. You don't want to press it. You don't want to hurt it. It's not a race. You take your time. So this one's really important. I'm going to bring her out slowly, but I really suggest to go with this palms flat, the knees locked out. If you can't lock out your knees, then that means you have to travel up your body a little bit until you can lock out your knees. Those are totally locked out now. When you come up, you take your time. Traveling up your body, take your time. You notice that my hand rests kind of like in the little cleft that we have in our back. That's where I want you to always unfold from. I don't want you to do a stretch and then you go. It's like terrible for your body. When you come out of things, I unfold from my back, and then I push my hips forward, and now I'm in a proud position again. I start getting my breathing going on. That's it. And then when you're ready, you're going to go down to your knees. So, I already heard some cracking. So depending on what your knees can do, first, you want to see if you can just rest on your heels, right? Now a lot of people do this. This is going to take it away from what we want to stretch. So you want a straight line this way so that the stretch is fully into your
This is the one that makes me nervous about.
Okay. So say you're a little bit nervous or you're by yourself. Like right now you have a coach, so give me a second. So I like to start with the ball. So the first thing, also known in yoga as camel pose, is actually we'll go straight with the body. I like to see parallel. You're going to push to the bottom of your back, and push those hip flexors forward, and you're straight. So,
straight?
yeah, like you're going to strengthen your spine, like lengthen your spine. Okay, we still have very good posture. Head's not tilted forward, head's not tilted back. And you're going to stretch backwards and ignite the front of your legs before you do the full stretch. So I'm right behind her, I'm supporting her. This is what we're looking for. Okay, now that's a really nice arch, right? Now how much pressure do you feel there?
Pressure where?
Like, is
On my
knees, your quads, your
No,
hips?
I'm good.
You're good. Okay, so she's advanced here, she's in a good position. So this is what I would start first with, creating the arch in your body until you can get your palms to the mat if you can. This would be the first one before I go into the quad stretch. Lengthening my hip flexors, breathing through. Deep breath out. That's it. Now say there was a little difficulty here to getting the palms, then I would be behind my partner. I would let them stretch and I would support them, and you could walk yourself back. Yep. Okay.
Ooh, that one was intense.
That's it. You're gonna do that first. You can do that. I come in and out of that position 2-3 times. So when I'm doing it, so just remember, I've just had my left hip replaced.
Ooh,
I'm having my right hip replaced, right?
it's getting old.
Yeah. She can say that without getting a beating yet. So what I do here is I like to strengthen this here.
Ooh. I like
Arch,
that.
yeah. So I'm igniting these, I'm strengthening them. See? So here's a good case. She's actually carries more flexible than I in a straight camel where she's coming back, but I'm stronger than her.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to meet in the middle. She needs to get stronger and I need to get more flexible, and together we need to always work on our mobility. That's what keeps us young, right? So again, I get here and I lift myself. And I lift myself. Pretty crazy, right?
That's insane.
I know some things, right? Now the next step is to get to the sitting position. So you're sitting on your heels. I'm behind my partner, and you're just gonna lay back. So where are you used to going? We have hands, forearms, lay down flat. Which ones have you done?
I can only lay down flat with a block underneath it,
Okay.
but
So what I would do is I'd rest on a ball. So go ahead.
okay.
And how's your back?
Oh, it feels fabulous.
Fabuloso. Okay, so here's some things to deepen your stretch. So the knees now you can see are at an angle. I would get them to come closer, and that's gonna get a deeper stretch.
I get a really good stretch here.
Mm-hmm. So if a good stretch is going on here, we wanna stay here. We don't want too deep of an arch in the back. We wanna actually get rid of the arch. You've already worked on your arch. Now we really wanna work on the quad position. So what I do here, if you see where my hand is, it's like a little hip pump I do. I just pump my hips. So you're gonna pump your hip forward. Yeah, little pumps, little like boom, boom, right? Little bumpity bump, little humpity hump. Yeah, and it's this controller. And what I do in the breathing, remember the whole time, like I'm talking, well, she's breathing. And it's inhale, exhale longer. When you inhale, you do the work, you see? So when she's inhaling, she's actually trying to work this little stretch. And then the bum, as I can see, is already starting to settle down on the heels. So you want to keep doing this kind of stuff with props, the balls, the blocks, until you're completely relaxed, until you've completely settled down. You're going to slowly come back up. Deep stretch. Yeah. And 2 bad knees, not bad at all. So now we're going to go to a sitting position.
I like this one.
So before the cross legs, we do the butterfly, okay? So the sequence is really important. If you want to know more, well, you just got to follow me because I'm not going to tell you all my secrets, right? So Carrie has a forward posture. Again, she has very good posture. Let's go a little bit more center, maybe. She has really good posture. We're gonna go butterfly position, heels together. Yeah. Okay. So what people do is they pull their legs towards them. What I want you to do is move your hips to your heels. Oh. Okay? Yes. And you'll see how the hips open? Right? So let's go back in reverse again. What people do is they put a lot of pressure on their knees and their ankles and they pull their feet in, right? But see, no pressure here. And now her hips have opened. So we're looking for a forward tilt. If you can't have a forward tilt, then you put something underneath your butt until you're like leaning forward. So where's the emphasis here? We push our heels together. On the belly, your belly is coming forward to your heels, okay? So everyone likes to reach forward like this. They're like, oh, and they never make progress. Where I'm always trying to move my hips and I'm folding this way. I want to fold from my waist. So you'll see my hand is there a lot on the lower lumbar. So belly towards the heels, stretching the spine, and we're going to breathe together now. Deep in and deep out. Now if you have a partner, it's not that they're pushing you, it's that they're holding you to the position that you've gained. In the space below your knees here, you want to constantly, on the inhale, press your knees down and then exhale, right? So breath in, press the knees down, exhale, open the spine. And you just keep walking forward. Belly is coming over the heels. Now, if you're getting into in a stuck position, right? What I do is I move my ribs side to side to get a deeper stretch. Okay? And if you have someone supporting you, you'll see my hands on the lower ribs, and I just lengthen her a little bit. Lengthen her. Right? Look at that. It's really opening. And you constantly breath in and breath out. Breath in and breath out. So things to remember in this position. You don't want to round it back. You see Carrie's back is nice and straight. She's been keeping her posture really nice. Her emphasis is taking this body, like this portion of the body, and folding it forward and over her heels, not reaching and like putting stress on her back. You can see she's very, it's almost like a sensual walk on the walkway stage, if you know. Now, one more reminder, when you breathe in, you press your knees down. You go, and then you relax and you lengthen your spine. And this is a good chill position here, really good chill position here.
Getting lower and lower.
You are. I bet you can get your chest down to your feet, right? And remember, you have to be compassionate to your body. You have to respect your body. If there's,
my knees are a little bit tight.
Yeah, so now the knees are tight. So we're just gonna hang out a little bit back and then slowly make our way, real slow. The length of time that you took to go forward should almost be the same time that you go backwards. Everyone rushes out of a pose or position. You should respect the position and reverse the action, right? Reverse the action, slowly coming up. That's it. And then strengthening, lengthening. I keep saying strengthening. Well, I guess you are strengthening, but lengthening your posture. I love this posture that I'm seeing. Crown is always in a nice position. She's in line. She never has her head forward like this. Now, to respectfully come out of this position, you slowly give it a little shake, take your leg, and slowly move it into a position, out of that position. Always really gentle, really slow. How's your knees so far?
Good.
You surviving?
I'm surviving.
All right. Forward bend. This is one of my personal pet peeves of the forward bend. So I'm gonna have Carrie keep facing the camera and I'm just gonna go opposite. And this is what people do. That's how they stretch. So the first thing you need to do is, see how I take my bum and I I walk it out. Do you see how I'm already going into a forward tilt? Now you can see my lats, I'm a bit thicker, so it might look like I'm rolled, but this would be me rolled. But I'm actually have a straight back and I bend forward like this. So I never try to reach for my toes. I'm always moving myself back, and I like to get to a position where my elbows go to the mat. That's my first step. So,
You know, you taught me that years ago, and now in yoga, when we do forward folds, I never go for my toes.
that's amazing.
I use my forearms to slide down.
And then you get to your toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's really important. That's about taking care of your back and the discs. So what happens is when you go into a forward fold, like when you bend forward, you're pushing the discs out. So you have to learn to lengthen your spine. So if there's something in here, you want to like make space first before you bend forward or backward. So here again is the breathing is important. So the belly is coming over the thighs. That's your first bend. Chest and belly is coming over the thighs. Constantly lengthening the spine. That's what you're doing. In your mind, you're visualizing, spine is lengthening. I like to see locked out knees. So when I see a bend in your legs, you're trying to go too far forward, right? So she's got, everything is good right now, what's going on. Now we're gonna activate some muscles and stuff. I'm gonna pull up my shorts so you can see my muscles, right? So this is what we're gonna do now. So say I have some trouble, right? We're just getting to the point with the elbows, and I'm really having trouble. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna lengthen my hamstrings, so I shouldn't be passive. I wanna contract my quadriceps, right? So you have an agonist and antagonist. So I'm here and I go, I breathe in and I go, and I'll get a pretty good release, okay? So you're like, and now I've got my elbows down to the mat.
Ooh, look at us.
Yes. And then from this down to elbow position, I can stretch my calves. And eventually you'll get to your heels and to your feet without having gone like this, okay? So we're gonna do very intense breathing. I'm gonna be listening. We're gonna get to that final push. Get those quads, right?
I think this is as far as I go.
Okay, this is a test right now, okay? So she thinks this is as far as she can go. I'm going to take her farther. All right, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
So very intense, very intense. From where you feel my hand, that's your lower back, you're going to lengthen. When I tell you to go forward, you're gonna take a deep breath in, and you're gonna flex your quads as hard as you ever did in your whole life. And then you're gonna release. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at this business. It's getting down. You do it again, all right? Deep breath in, tighten, and relax. Couldn't go further, right? And now look at, I bet you can get your hands. That's what I'm talking about. Come talk to me. We'll work out your kinks. Now, because you've been in a forward bend so long, we need to really take our time coming back out. Very gentle. You're walking yourself back up your legs. Again, Carrie, her posture, very nice, where she has her head. You never see her cranking her neck forward or backward.
Yoga.
Give me some credit, Jesus. That's all good. I love, you know, if you have different experiences, different stretching, I'm going to refine it, right? So as you saw, this was a perfect example. She said, I think I'm as far as I can go. But we took her further by contracting and relaxing the right muscles. Okay, so now we're back up. Sometimes some people need to like shake their legs out, shake their back out and body, right? Now we're going to go to the crossed position. And this is my favorite position for the chill out, okay? So people will do this, and they go, and then they pull it in tight. What I would like you to see you do is control your legs and move your hips forward to get to that cross position, and you'll see that you'll come in a much deeper forward bend, okay? Yeah. And it's gonna get you right in that triangle here, where if you have a lot of hip pain or you have pain that runs into your knee, the more you stretch here, the more stress will take off that thick fibrous material, which is our IT band. So we want to stretch at the top of the IT band and at the bottom where the connections are. So you want to try to stretch the tendons and muscles that are much more pliable than an IT band. Okay, so we've got our legs crossed. You're going to cross your arms, hug yourself. And this is like the cocoon. You need to be like warm. You need to love yourself, right? Not to sound cosmic, but this is your chance to just hold yourself and just chill, breathing yourself forward. And we have two positions for this. One, which the elbows go to the mat and then you start to go forward with your elbows, or your elbows go inside between you. Okay, so we're gonna do this first position and you're just gonna walk forward with your elbows. And then this time you are going to lay your head down and you want to go in chill mode. Now a lot of people can get to this position, but their knees are still really high. So what we want to do is start to play and rock our body to get our knees to go to a position where they can go lower, right? So you want to adjust. Yeah, your feet are in the way.
Where should my feet?
You want to, so when you,
Oh, like this.
yeah, so what I'll do is, like, see, this is my surgery hip, so it's a lot higher right now, right? Mm-hmm. So what I do is I adjust my legs so that I can do it on the right side where I'm adjusting. You see where my knee will go flat? When I'm here, sometimes they just stay up because the cross position of your legs is keeping your knees up. No, not there yet. No, this is for the simple folk right now. This is entry level. We don't want no single and double lotus here. Don't confuse the people at home. Right, the stretches that we're showing you today, like now you're in a better position. Now can you move your foot more in line? So I have a picture and I'll post it and you'll see that both my heels are in line with my groin. Everything is centered, right? That's pre-hip operation. Yeah, and then what I do is I cross my heels. Yes, now this is magic right here. Now we're going off the rails here a little bit.
We're going off the rails.
With Ms. Yoga
I
here,
enjoy that.
right? So this is fairly advanced, right? There's a lot of pressure that can happen on your knees if you're not flexible inside of the hips. But you see how the knees have opened more? So I just want to go back to a little bit more basic position. This right here is good. Right there is good. Now you can put your knees flat. You cross your arms.
Tilt this way more. I feel like I'm not in line.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go. Cross your arms. Now the other position is elbows go to the belly and you just bring your forehead to the mat. So you lengthen your spine again until your forehead goes to the mat. And you're always trying to lengthen the spine. And here's a very good chill out position. So you see you had both positions where your arms are inside and your arms are outside. So here we're gonna get our breathing rhythm on. Get ourselves into it. Getting prepared for the final position, which is probably the most difficult position, only in that we don't really have strong adductors. Most people don't have strong like adduction and abduction. So the ability to move your legs inwards and outwards. We're walking, we're kind of linear creatures. We don't really open and close our legs. So if you remember from the first exercise, Carrie, yes. That would go over some people's head. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Families are watching, damn it. Okay, so we're slowly gonna come out of this stretch. I love you so much, I love you. I'm her greatest cheerleader, just putting it out there. Okay, so you've been in this cross position, so she's in her cross position. Again, I like to see you get out of the habit of not controlling your legs. So even though I put my hand, I'm actually, like I hold my leg. See, I'm doing most of the work. So I just take out my leg and I set it down. So together, this is just to protect my joints take it and I put it down. Now, Carrie and I have worked on this for years.
Yes.
We have a lot of history with doing the splits and opening the legs. So this is our final exercise. I am gonna get her to close up and I'll show you the full progression. So legs are just like a little 45, just a little bit. And you're gonna spread your legs until your elbows fit inside your thighs. Too much. All right? Remember, this is like the people's first day of doing this stretch.
Yeah, you taught me this 5 years ago.
Yes.
And I can still do it.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So same thing. The mistake is to try and do what she did in the beginning. She has mastered that position. She's worked a long time to be able to have that skill. And it is a skill. You have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you teach yourself a lot of pain for nothing. So we're using the inside of our legs, right? You want to be able to turn your legs inwards. You want hip mobility. That's a whole other thing that we can go. But these are, you need to follow these stretches in sequence. It's very, very important. So she can tell you so far, I'm sure. She's pretty calm. Nice breathing. Hips opened up beautifully. You saw on the last one, it was crazy. Hips were, they were out of control, right? No knees problems, no knee damage. Quads were stretched, hamstrings were stretched, hips were stretched, rib cage and back was stretched, shoulders were stretched, neck and posture has been stretched. What more do you want? Now we're going for the split position. So you're slowly walking yourself forward, slowly walking, never doing that ugly, you know, curved back, but you're always, and it's almost like you rub your thigh, inner thigh groin to the mat. That's what you're trying to do. I'm just gonna go a little bit behind her. So I walk backwards and I take my groin and it's like I rub it down and you see I just get to my elbows right away. That does take some time. And that's how we're gonna move into that position. And you can see the gentle rocking forward. It's very, very gentle. And then we're gonna settle back down. So the whole time we never reach forward, we bend. You've seen throughout the whole sequence, my hand keeps touching the small of the back. I need you to remember that you are folding from lower lumbar region first and foremost. Now, depending on your hip structure, some of you, this is the max, and I don't want you to force it. I don't want you to have any pain here, okay? And we want to bring our belly to the mat. Now, how long does this take? I'm going to show you. This is really good.
It's been a while since I've done
Yeah, okay. So you tell me when you can't go any further, when you're like, you're maxed
I feel
out.
like this is it right here.
Okay. Bum, ba-da-da. So this is, I'm your guy. Like, I'm your guy. You can do your yoga and your gymnastics, but when you're not satisfied with this, you want to get to the elite level without killing yourself, you come see me. So here is pretty relaxed and static. So what I'm gonna ask Carrie to do is coordinate her breath work. So she's going to inhale sharply as she tightens the inside of her legs. Okay, so we're like this, Carrie, and you're trying to turn, right? So you're going to go, and I'm gonna try to turn my hips. I'm gonna physically turn my hips and I'm gonna flex. I'm gonna go like this. So I want your legs to tighten with strength. Try to push your heels into the mat. Try to push those heels into the mat. I want to feel you shake. And then you relax. Yes. And then you relax. Somebody's going deeper. Somebody's going deeper. We're going into the black hole right now. You see what I mean? It's all about contracting the right muscles. If your muscles are soft, then you're not going to have a muscle that lengthens and a muscle that tightens. I think we got one more. All right, squeeze, 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 and relax. Fantastic. I told you. Now, we have to come out of this very slowly. So what I do is I pump my legs. I just pump them. I'm just squeezing them, contracting them, contracting them. Contract your muscle. Yes, that's fine. It's fine. Hit the butt, hit the butt. You want to squeeze your muscles, squeeze, so that the elastic is under control. Nothing just goes, doom, right? It's a pretty damn good stretch. You saw how far we took it. And then now, slowly, your legs were wide and you, okay? So this, Carrie, actually what you did, you took yourself out of your stretch, like, where I don't want you to do it like that. I want you take control of your body, you take control of your muscles. So you've been in this full stretch so long, and now I'm asking you to take it out. So I tighten the muscles, I contract them. I move my legs. I don't just statically, because that means I don't have control. Which means if your knee was in a bad position, something is too tight, you're like, oh my God, that was such a long stretch. Oh, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's a really important thing. So we've only touched upon breath work. We've only touched upon when to contract your muscles. I'm gonna finish, Carrie, with some manual stretching, just because she did a lot of work and she deserves a little manual stretching, right? And this just allows you to take yourself to a place where you still can't go, but you're starting to teach your brain the memory of that stretch. So using straps, using manual, someone manually putting you there. But the most important way to stretch is to actually do it yourself. It's probably the #1 way. So manual stretching is super good. So if you have a stretching coach that's gonna help you stretch once a week, I think that's perfect. But the main work is learning how to control your body and stretch yourself. And #1 goal is to make this moving meditation, so that over 30 minutes to an hour, you're actually meditating. And there's different exercises I can give you, depending if it's stress reduction or you want to increase performance. So there's different types of meditation and there's different types of breathing. But the energy that I feel right now is pretty damn good.
Yes.
Pretty damn good. How do people reach you?
Either through my social media
Social media
or
and
through my office at Remax Real Estate Center.
Remax Real Estate Center. And what, do you have a specialty, or do you?
I do commercial, I do residential.
Commercial,
My
residential.
Team does it all.
Oh, so you have a full team.
Yes.
We probably should get the team in here one of these days.
Right?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay.
My girls would love it. And we're all female.
All female team.
Yeah.
And from what I can see, I've been able to see you right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful team, and Carrie is a wonderful human being. And honestly, she's a straight shooter. I think I've told you that since like 12 years. Like the straightest shooter you'll ever. What she's telling you is what she's telling you. There's no games. If you need something sold or bought, she's just going to tell you the truth, and then you go from there.
Thanks.
Peace and love, strength and honor.
Peace
Carrie
and
and
love.
Samir
Yes.
with our first stretch video.
Love it.